are these people?
I felt like this was fitting with your story earlier, but it didn't start with Trump. What does that mean? You might wonder. Well, Caitlin's going to explain it to you. So, plan to ethnically cleanse Gaza didn't start with Trump. Again, Caitlin Johnstone over at Caitlin's newsletter. You can find it on Substack. This was picked up by Consortium News, which they like to pick up good stuff. So, Caitlin writes, I still can't get over how absurd it is, how everyone's acting like the plan to ethnically cleanse Gaza is some new idea that Trump just came up with. Wait, so you're saying we make the Palestinians go away, replace them with Jews? What bold, innovative thinking. By golly, that's just crazy enough to work. The notion that removing all Palestinians from Gaza is a fresh new idea that was convinced of by Trump is one of the most ridiculous narratives we're seeing pushed by the mainstream political media class. Israeli think tanks and intelligence services were pushing this plan to move Gaza's inhabitants to Egypt within days of the October 7th attack. Again, you can go back to, Israel's secret plan back in the vault, but the Biden's admin tried unsuccessfully to get Cairo to facilitate this agenda. So
keep this in. Hold on. So keep this in mind. And I think I said this last week, but I saw an acquaintance of mine post on Instagram, Trump is displacing the Palestinians. Forgetting that Biden displaced them from North Gaza, and it's just. And the irony is, this person was tweeting about what Biden was doing. But then they still voted for Biden Kamala anyway. Knowing, and funny enough, I kind of got into a fight with this person, over social media over it. But they were tweeting about Biden and what he was doing in Gaza, kind of escalated with Trump. But this person was saying, oh, well, he's causing them to be displaced. They were displaced anyway. They were displaced from North Gaza to Southern Gaza to Rafah. And what happened? They were in Rafah. They were killed. So, but it's just funny how people forgot all about all of that. And that happened last spring. But now Trump is saying, oh, I want to displace them to Egypt and Jordan. Now everyone's up in arms. Biden placed them from their home from north to south and killed them. So, which is better? At least Biden, or at least Trump is saying he wants to displace them to another country. Not necessarily, well, he's going to kill them too. But, it's just how people quickly forget, because it's Trump that's a lot more they're more hyperbolic and are underemphasizing what Biden did, which I think is expected but frustrating.
Agreed. So kicking the Palestinians out of Gaza to neighboring Arab states has always been the plan. It didn't just emerge out of nowhere when Trump became president, and yet you'll see everywhere on both sides of the mainstream partisan divide furiously pushing this narrative that this is all Trump's idea, whether they support or oppose the ethnic cleansing agenda. If they support it, they talk it up as some brilliant outside-the-box innovation nobody's ever thought of before, and if they oppose it, they completely erase from history the fact that it is being advanced under the Biden administration in the early days of the onslaught. So, she just saw Alan Dershowitz babbling about how we should all thank Donald Trump for coming up with this first new idea in many, many years about how to solve this problem. But it isn't a new idea, and Trump didn't come up with it. Driving Palestinians out of their historic homeland has been the Zionist vision for the region since before Israel was even established as a state. And all of its actions from 1948 on have borne that out. this has always been about ending the existence of Palestinians in Palestine.
As we
And then,
said, the Israeli version of Manifest Destiny.
yeah, and that is,
Well, actually, the Zionist version
yes,
of Manifest Destiny. Let's make that clarification.
and that's all it has ever been about. Not October 7th, not hostages, not fighting terrorism, not self-defense. This is about driving Palestinians out of their homeland so that their territory can eventually be fully and officially absorbed by Israel. Meanwhile, Israeli sources are telling Haaretz that Netanyahu is planning to sabotage the ceasefire in Gaza to keep it from progressing to its second phase after the 42 days of the first phase are up. That's the article I read in our other segment on the violations, so go check that out. But the ceasefire in Gaza to keep it from progressing, it's entirely possible we'll see things slide right back into the same nightmare we were looking at during the Biden administration in a few weeks. Democrats are as happy as a pig in shit right now. Suddenly they get to pretend all the unfathomable evils their president inflicted upon our world never happened just because there's a different president doing bad things who people are feeling big feels about. They wanted to lose. They're overjoyed that they don't have to be the face on the U.S. empire's depravity anymore, and that's no longer their job to make excuses for it. They're getting everything they want out of the present arrangement because liberals don't actually care about fixing problems and making the world a better place. They only care about feeling good about themselves. Their politics is never... Go ahead.
Or just tweaking around the edges and calling it progress.
Yeah. Their politics is never actually about anything other than their feelings, and Biden was making their feelings feel bad. Trump let them feel smug and vindicated and correct. He also lets them feel outraged and indignant, and they enjoy that too. But it's all bullshit. No matter what Trump says or does, or how he and his goons make people's feelings feel, it will still be a historical fact that Biden and his handlers spent 15 months facilitating a campaign of extermination and demolition in Gaza, which could not have happened without U.S. backing. It will still be a historical fact that Biden and his handlers pushed Ukraine into an unwinnable war that the U.S. and its allies knowingly provoked in order to advance geostrategic grand chessboard agendas, sabotaging potential peace negotiations and threatening the world with nuclear annihilation along the way. It will still be a historical... Yes.
It's also a historical fact that Biden had financial ties to Ukraine via his son, Hunter.
Yep. So it'll be fact,
which was the reason why he was pardoned.
Right. Yep.
So in case Republicans try to get after him, then he would have to go through all of that.
Correct. So it's historical fact that Biden kept in place many of the ugly policies put in place during the first Trump administration and actively expanded and added to them. It's important to point this out because Democrats are posturing as opponents of tyranny and abuse right now, and they aren't. They are allies of tyranny and abuse who LARP as righteous defenders of truth and justice whenever the other tyrannical and abusive party happens to be in power. Their behavior during the Trump admin shows you how they wish to be perceived, but their behavior during the Biden admin showed you who they really are. So I also wanted to add, this goes both ways, you know? Right now, there's a concerted effort to me by people that you've been Pavlov to hate right now to also call out things that are worthy of being called out. So, you know, it's why you see people like Tulsi and RFK, even though they're perfectly controlled just like everyone else, you know, suddenly they're pushed as outsiders, you know? So, because we can get Elizabeth Warren and Bolton and Bernie Sanders to yell at them, you know, from a shit liberal position. Plenty of that right now. So, and it trickles all the way down to the media and all that stuff. It's happening all the way down the ladder. So, keep your eye out for that. But closing thoughts?
I mean, this is the thing, and that just frustrates me. What I see,
like, just to add to my list of examples before we get to that, the Democracy Now talking about the PayPal mafia, even though we've been talking about that for months and months and months and years now, right? Like, very similar stuff, So, but anyway, continue.
Yeah, it just reminds me of the frustration that I feel. Like, that people are acting brand new to what Trump's been doing when,
Yeah.
Biden was doing it. You can argue probably worse, but the response was more tepid or non-existent when Biden was doing it. And we have been calling this out, but people wanted us to shut up. Now that Trump is in power, it's okay to call this.
Well, it's also,
and it's like,
the people who are like, oh, well, Trump and Elon are going to fix everything. It's like, did you not pay attention before? Like,
right.
It's the same. Everything same. No difference has been made. There's no worse, better. They're all assholes shoving their boot up your ass the entire time. Like, pay attention. Wild how this works, I know. But, yeah, I mean, both of them only care about how they're perceived. So, that's we assume they're lying to us from now on. Glad we learned this lesson. Okay. Let's anything else you wanted to add?
Nah, I'm good.
Well, scan that QR code on your screen or go to code-fee.com/indienewsnetwork if you want to leave a couple bucks in the hat. But we get it. Times are tight. Just help with the engagement. Like and subscribe. Share this video. Leave a comment. Let us know what you think. Get this to your friends. Let us know what they think. But, otherwise, thanks for watching.